Hey everybody, welcome back to another monthly market report for real estate here in the Central Okanagan, this time overviewing the stats in November of 2025. So we are in the early days of December, which if you know anything about real estate and how the market goes, end of November, December, January are chronically the slower months in terms of real estate and the effects that seasonality has on real estate. Now, it hasn't been bad news across the board. I mean, this is generally a time of year when there are buyers in the market. They're usually pretty serious when there are people still listed, because a lot of people do tend to take their listings off the market for December and put them up at the end of January or when the spring hits. That the people who are listed or who are looking are generally very serious buyers and sellers. So you do often still see some movement around this time, albeit slower than you normally would, especially when you have spring right around the corner, which is usually the hottest market in most markets, but especially here in the Okanagan. This is a time of year where people start to prep, start to plan, look ahead to the new year and what their plans are for 2026, which should be a pretty stable and steady market. At the end of October, we had the Bank of Canada with one of their rate announcements lower the overnight interest rate to 2.25%, and we have another rate announcement coming on December 10th. So I don't have too much to say in terms of a prediction. We could see another 0.25 basis point cut, especially with inflation coming down from September to October, but there is also a strong chance that they are going to not make any changes and wait to see what happens for the first rate announcement of 2026. But it has been relatively quiet here in the real estate market. Looking at the absorption rate, we are currently at 9.3%. Again, sit it year after year for this entire year, still heavily into a buyer's market. It will likely continue this way, and hopefully we start to see it trend upwards into a balanced market as we head into spring, or probably more likely by summer of next year if it is going to happen. With interest rates lowering, I do probably see more buyers coming to the market, but there are a ton of economic factors that could affect this. Looking at sales over the last month, there was a total of 336 sales, which is down 13% from last month and 9.36% from this time last year, which is down 13% from last month and 9.31% from this time last year. The overall average sales price for total product, which includes the average of condos, single family homes, and townhouses, is down 10.87% from this time last year to an average price of $754,192. The list to sell ratio remains relatively stable at 95.37%. That hasn't moved too much month over month in the last at least 6 months. I'm now looking at the average price of individual products, starting with condos. The average price for condos is actually up 1.11% to an average price of $479,439. Townhouses are up 8.19% to an average price of $705,022. And single family homes are up 5% to an average price of $1,078,116. Properties are sitting on the market 6.59% longer than this time last year to an average days on market of 78 days. And there are over 10 months of inventory currently, with 3,611 currently active listed properties. This is a less than 1% change from this time last year. And we saw a bit of a drop from last month, and that wasn't just due to sales. That was more of the fact that, like I said at the beginning of the video, during this time of year, a lot of people tend to take their properties off the market and relist in the spring. So we still do have a solid amount of inventory. We had a bit of slower sales last month, which is to absolutely be expected. We have another rate announcement coming. We're still in a buyer's market, and that's kind of been the overall theme of the entire year. I only have one more month to go over for 2025 for real estate stats, and we've seen a very similar theme throughout the year. Now, some months we had an increase in sales, and it looks like we're going to trend towards a balanced market, but with the overabundance of inventory, the hesitancy in the market, we didn't see too much action and too much change over the entirety of the year. We'll continue to look ahead to 2026 with one more month left to go, and being December, it's usually a pretty slow month, especially with the holidays factoring into it. But I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me at the information on the screen. You can call me, text me, email me. I'm more than happy to help you out and answer any questions you may have. And if you're interested in learning more about Kelowna's market, the Central Okanagan, and just moving to Kelowna and the Okanagan in general, make sure you subscribe to my main channel, Living in Kelowna BC, linked in the description down below. Again, my name is Boholij, your Okanagan realtor and relocation specialist. That was my monthly market update for real estate here in the Central Okanagan, overviewing the stats of November 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video.